Well, with the debt deadline looming, the proposed Biden-McCarthy deal heads to the House floor later tonight. Probably 8:30 is when a vote could be taken. But not everybody is completely on board. The House Freedom Caucus has railed against the proposal. Here's some members yesterday.
Vote no and do the right thing. And let's go find a better deal.
There's going to be a reckoning about what just occurred.
And this deal is absolutely one of the biggest abominations.
Don't tell me you're going to put me over a barrel for $4 trillion because you refuse to do your job.
Okay, let's now talk to House Freedom Caucus member Congressman Andy Biggs. Joins us right now from the D.C. area. Andy, good morning to you.
Morning, Steve.
There are a lot of members of your House Freedom Caucus who say this thing is a stink bomb.
Yeah, that's right. And I'll just bring it down to its most common terms, give them the benefit of the doubt. They say you're going to save $1.3 trillion over 10 years. Well, let's put it on an annual basis. That's a savings of about $133 billion with a growth in your national debt of somewhere around $2 trillion.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like a great exchange. The problem is has never been one of a willingness to deficit spend and grow the national debt. The problem has always been bending the spending curve down, trying to balance out our spending to our revenue numbers.
Sure. Well, you know, one of the problems for the House Freedom Caucus and for the Republicans in general is you guys only control one half of one branch of government. You know, when the Democrats had unified government where they had the White House, the Senate, and the Congress, they could just steamroll over you guys. You guys only have a little bit of leverage, really.
Yeah, but what I think should have been done here, instead of that last bill that they sent over being the floor from which negotiate up, which is what's happened here,
right,
is we should have done the very best product we could have gotten out of the House, and that would have been turning the spending curve down, going back to 2019 levels. Nobody would say that was too little government. And then if you get those 2019 levels, we're excessive of that as far as our revenues. We would be able, and I suggest we just try for a year to see if we could live within our means, and then you wouldn't even have to raise the debt ceiling. But we didn't do that.
Yeah, and we are where we are right now. And it sounds like the House is going to have to pass this, and then it's got to clear the Senate by Monday to avert a default. Ultimately, that's what a lot of Americans are worried about, is defaulting on our debt.
Yeah, well, here's the deal. I introduced legislation that would give us rescissions of $90 billion, and that $90 billion would have immediately pushed off a debt crisis for at least probably 45 days. We thought it could go as far as 60 to 90 days, but they didn't want to do a short-term rescission. They preferred to do this big monstrosity, and it's a bit of a problem.
If you had to be a betting man, is this thing going to pass tonight?
Yeah, I think it's going to pass. I think you're going to get 100 to 150 Democrats and probably 100 or so, maybe more, Republicans.
Sure. What about the Speaker? You know, the way that Kevin McCarthy made the deal to become Speaker is it just takes one member to call a vote, and you could start the process to boot him. We heard some people yesterday, at least one person said, this guy's got to go. What do you think is going to happen with Kevin McCarthy, the Speaker?
Well, you know, Steve, I can't project what will happen with Kevin. I know there's a lot of dissatisfaction. I've been focusing on the bill and trying to get the word out on what I think are the problems with the bill. It's hard to say what will happen with Kevin. I'm more concerned what's going to go on with the trajectory of the term, because does this represent a new coalition and a new trajectory where the Speaker is going to go to the Democrats more and more to try to put forward whatever he thinks his agenda ought to be? And that's really concerning to me, and I think it should be concerning to members of our conference.
Well, ultimately, you would agree that the Republicans got more out of the deal than the Democrats.
No, I don't think I would agree with that at all. Not at all.
Well, the Speaker has said things to that effect. Stephen Moore, on the pages of the New York Post, said that the Wall Street Journal supports the passage of this bill. So there are some out there who think that the Republicans are doing better than the Democrats.
Yeah, and I understand that, but I wonder if they've read the bill. I mean, I'm looking at admin pay-go. where they claimed that originally they claimed they're going to get $1.5 trillion worth of savings. Admin pay-go doesn't work, and they know it doesn't work, and you can't even have judicial review because the person who determines whether they have to, the administrative agencies have to use pay-go, is the Director of Office of Management and Budget, who is a Democrat, and that program in itself only goes 1 year. So, Steve, I don't view this as a victory for us. I view this as kind of a very, as I said yesterday, it's a monstrosity. I think it's a real problem and will be a continuing problem for us as it careens us down over the debt cliff sooner rather than later. You got to turn your spending curve down, and this bill does not do that.
Yeah, Washington famous for spending a lot of money we don't have. Congressman, thank you very much for starting the day and telling us where you stand on this. I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.